Untitled Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Pisces for end of May, June 2022. So Pisces, we are in the sign of Gemini and the element is air, so it's all about communication, ideas, all these sort of things running rife this next 4 weeks. You are in your 4th house, which is the house of home, growing new things, doing things around the home, but just basically things centered around the home. You might even be moving home or buying a new home. All that kind of business is in the 4th house. Very consolidatory. Consolidating your stuff in your home environment. And we have the energy around is the sun. So things really illuminated this month for you guys. You can see everything, cracks and all. So you'll get to see the big picture. But you know, and it's like a massive microscope where you can see flaws, you can see everything that normally may be hidden will be very apparent this month. It's also a card, a good yes answer card for whatever it is you're doing. A proceed card, a green light card. It's also a good card for health. Okay, let's see where you are right now, Pisces. And we have the 10 of Swords, so the end of a family curse. So whatever's been going on, troubles around the family, especially family members, or could be work colleagues, if there's been bother there, you'll find that now that's sort of coming to an end for you. So this is a good card to have. It's sort of the 10s are always the end of a cycle. So the end of this sort of mind energy too that may have been playing a bit of havoc with you, intuitive Pisces water people. Let's see what's influenced that, and in turn the rest of the reading. We have the 6 of Cups, so all sorts of people from the past may get in touch with you. People that you haven't heard from for a long time may come in touch with you. It's very much a past life card for those of you who are comfortable with that philosophy of the past life. People that you may not necessarily know, but there's a connection, an instant connection with these people where you feel like you've known them forever. So it's a very mystical card, it's a very spiritual card, but it definitely talks about past life or just people from the past reconnecting in with you or appearing as if out of nowhere suddenly. So that's a really interesting theme that's going to run through this next 4 weeks for you Pisces. Let's have a look at the background. So then this card is still very much current and has influence as we are. So this will talk about the April-May time. And we had the moon. So whatever was hidden, it's the opposite obviously of the sun. So whatever was hidden and you couldn't see things properly, it was cloudy or foggy or any of those things where you feel like, oh, you know, I don't really know about this. I'm not sure. I can't see the big picture. I cannot see what's going on. I don't know. But the moon's also very intuitive. It's about, you know, this is for the sign of Cancer, this card. So your cousin, water cousin, Cancer. So it's almost like all those things that have been obscured from your view now are going to be highlighted by the sun, basically. Can be a card too of deception, can be a card of restless night syndrome and all those kind of things, dreams, intuition, lots of all that. It's kind of a magical card as well, magical, mystical card, but obviously things are obscured. But as we see with the sun, you're going to see it in full now. Recent influences, and we have the Magician. So new endeavours coming in for you, very much a spirit, it's the spirit messenger card, it's the card of, you know, starting new projects, so starting out as you mean to continue, and remembering the motto is you know, lots of potential coming in, but there's also risk. Like with anything that we endeavour to do in our lives, there's always the element 50-50, great potential, 50-50 risk. But it's about being really sort of, because he is the spirit messenger, he's sort of there to guide you. And where you do run into risks, that's where you have to use your intuition, Pisces, to avoid or know what's coming for you. And therefore, you know, thinking on your feet is very much sort of description of what this card it brings to you. So it sort of brings you all kinds of spiritual lessons. So interesting indeed. The lesson you'll be learning. And we have Temperance, so divine time. So this is the right time for whatever it is you want to do. Get cracking with it. This is, you know, when this card comes up, it's always a sign of this is the right time to do what it is you want to do. You can see everything. There's clarity. There's opportunity. And it's saying, well, strike while the iron is hot. Beautiful card. It's the card of Sagittarian too. And you, most Pisces and Sagittarians get along really well with all the philosophies and everything that they share. Very much outward thinking people as well, outward in seeking new things to start. So it's a green light card as well. Let's see what comes upon you in the first week of June. So the near future we have. Yeah, just have a bit of a breather there. The chill out card. Just watch and see how things play out. Not necessarily participating, but just, you know, watching and spectating and just seeing how the land lies with everything. All things going along well, but also remembering to be cautious of whatever's going on. So that means sometimes just taking a bit of a back seat and just watching and observing for a while rather than just, you know, jumping in too quickly. What's happening that you're not realising? Knight of Wands, sorry. So, you know, the tempo's really changed up a gear too with the Knight of Wands. Very much a fire sign card. Things going from standstill really to really fast lane living. Things happening very quickly. Could be some for the those in relationships too, people just coming in really quickly and then departing just as quick as they arrived. But knights are always messengers, so there's bringing there's an element of messages being brought to you. So all in all, it looks like a really interesting month unfolding for you, Pisces. Let's see how other people see you. And Hanging Man, so just going with the flow, being really wise, being very patient, just waiting for the outcome to come. And the main message of this card is patience and going with the flow. So it's almost like you've got all these green lights, but then there's that sort of element of caution and patience to be learnt that comes through. And this is how other people see you actually, Pisces. So very careful sort of people, but very patient as well and willing to wait and see and know the right time to move and not to move. So very interesting. Let's see the positive feelings you have this month. And we have the good old King of Cups here. So there may be an element, maybe this is your other half or your partner or this very male sort of emotional card. Maybe you're dealing with a male person who has this wounded, he's sort of like a wounded healer in terms of, you know, he's got his own wounds in there, but they're sort of, I always liken it to, it's like a frozen brick of emotion, so that you can't really get much out of them in terms of their emotions, but you feel it, that it's there and you know it's there. But like with a lot of the males, they, you know, it's not their way to be emotionally expressive. They have other ways of doing things. But yeah, so just heed that warning too. Just go lightly on that energy. because there's nothing worse, I believe, from the men I know than women, or, you know, conversely, anyone, you know, pecking away at them to try and get information, because you won't get it that way. But this is very much what you're feeling positive about. So this resonates with you. You know, this is just this the way it is. Interesting as well. Very interesting. Okay, let's see the outcome for the month. And we have the Chariot. So really emotional discipline, sort of really disciplining yourself, especially if we're looking back at this King of Cups too. And, you know, dealing with the King of Cups, you really need to be emotionally disciplined. You can't just go in and start, you know, like with the girlfriends, we tell each other all these things and expose all the things that we are going on for us emotionally. Well, with men, they're not so much about that. So one has to be really emotionally disciplined to deal with this in order not to sort of, you know, drive people away. So really emotional discipline, and you'll see the fruits of this sort of labour coming up in late June, July, which we're coming into the sign of Cancer. So you'll see what we mean here. And this is also, the Chariot is also very much a travel card as well, so very nice as well if travel is in your plans for the next, you know, especially in Australia and the southern states. We're coming into the winter. It's winter actually in a couple of days, so they'll probably, a lot of you will be thinking of travelling, and those in the northern hemisphere, it's all about summer and travelling to the continent and all those sorts of things, just travelling around and enjoying. But being emotionally disciplined is the theme. Okay, let's now have a look at your message. And it's the beautiful card of the path. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. The path to enlightenment is an endless process. You have to practice diligently and with discipline. Eventually you will become the path itself, and fewer struggles and sufferings will come your way. It's a really beautiful card, and funnily enough, it's the card number 4, which is the 4th house for you. So really interesting how you're going to tackle this month. It looks really promising and fabulous for you. Thank you so much for listening, Pisces. I wish you a good 4 weeks.